This torch was entirely made using materials that were easily gathered from the surrounding forest. A torch has several uses. It is a great way to provide light when there is none. It can also be used as a deterrent against wild animals, or as an emergency signal light in the dark, and it is also an excellent way to transport fire, especially in wet conditions. If you want to see how I did it, stay tuned. In order to make my torch, I first needed to gather some tree resin. Most evergreen trees produce this highly flammable and very sticky substance. Pine, spruce, and fir trees are all popular sources of resin in my area. Here I am gathering some pine resin. When the bark of an evergreen is damaged, or a branch is broken near its trunk, resin will ooze from the wound, sealing it off from the open air. This keeps fungus and bugs from being able to infiltrate the injury. When I removed the resin, I made sure to leave a layer so that the tree would still be protected. However, if the tree needs to, it can simply produce more resin to fill in any new openings. Here I am collecting some spruce resin. My next step was to make a simple handle for the torch, one which would be used to hold the resin securely in place as it burned. I selected a small maple sapling for my handle. A torch handle needs to be made from green wood, as opposed to dead or dry wood. This is to prevent the handle from catching fire while the torch is lit. The only thing that the torch should burn is its fuel. When resin becomes hot, it turns runny, so I needed to find something that would soak the resin up and hold it in place while it burned, much the same way that a wick works in a kerosene lantern. I found 3 items that I could use as a sort of wick for my torch: a spruce cone, cattail, and a pair of socks that I kept in my pack. As an experiment, I decided to make 3 torches using these 3 items to see which one was best. Now I had all the materials that I needed for my torch: the fuel, the wick, and the handle. The next step was to prepare the handles. I cut spikes in the opposite ends of the handles so that I could stand them upright in the ground. I used my axe to split the end of each handle into quarters. I used 2 twigs to temporarily hold the splits open. I then melted the resin over a fire, being very careful not to let it get too hot, otherwise the resin would catch fire. I coated the spruce cone, cattail, and socks in the liquefied resin. In its liquefied form, the resin is best able to soak into the makeshift wicks. However, in the event that heating the resin wouldn't be possible, I could simply smear the resin over the wicks instead. After coating the spruce cone, cattail, and socks, I inserted them into the split ends of the handles. Then I removed the twigs, allowing the handles to further clamp down on the wicks. Even with the wicks, there is still a chance that the torch might drip some resin as it burns, so be sure to tilt it away from yourself when carrying it, and keep it away from anything that might easily catch fire. Basically, just use your common sense. The cattail ended up burning for 10 minutes before needing another coating of resin. The spruce cone burned for 15 minutes, and the socks burned the brightest and the longest at 25 minutes. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even 25 minutes might not seem like very long, but it might make all the difference in a survival situation. So there you have it, a simple emergency torch. Do you have an idea for a different material that might make a good torch wick? Share it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.